Mbiri safuta ndipo mbiri imazibwereza yokha. Tikulandireni kwina kulikonse kumene muli pambiri. Iyi ndi nthawi imene Profesa Bingu wa Mutharika amalumbirisa nduna zokwanira 20 mu kabineti imene iye adayisankha chitengereni boma kachiwiri. Kodi ndi nkhope ziti zimene mukuzikumbukira padakali pano? Kodi ena mwa anthu amenewa ali ku DPP padakali pano kapena ena ali mbali zina? Tiwuzeni nkhope zimene mwazidziwa mukanema ameneyo, amayi ndi abambo, anyamata ndi asungwana. Profesa Bingu wa Mutharika, president wachitatu wa dziko lino la Malawi.
Sir, of your new cabinet. May I invite Your Excellency to address us? Thank you.
Jala mwamba, DPP oye, DPP oye, DPP oye. Right Honorable Vice President of the Republic of Malawi, Honorable Joyce Banda, the Cabinet Ministers, the Chief Secretary, the Director of the State Residencies, Inkosi Makosi Goman 4 by 8, and other Makoses, the spouses of Cabinet Ministers and family members, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press. It's difficult to hide the joy that I have in swearing you in these various portfolios this morning. I think that this is a momentous occasion and an occasion for us to be happy and celebrate. I noticed that all the ministers were safely tucked on the government side and nobody wanted to stay on the other side. So I don't know whether, except for the Right Honorable Vice President who had the courage to sit there. So I don't know whether you are scared of the opposition. I'm not quite sure. But I understand that you were warming up the seats for Monday. So you are most welcome. I'd like to take this opportunity to very warmly welcome all of you to the cabinet, but also the spouses and other members of the family to this particular function, which is indeed very important. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the ministers, former cabinet ministers who have made it back into the cabinet, and I say welcome back. And also I would like to welcome the new members who have made it into the cabinet. I say welcome. I understand that we need new blood. So when new blood and old blood mixes, I don't know what happens, but it can only be good, I believe. And I'm also told that new brooms sweep clean. I don't know whether it is true, because I have some old brooms I still use which still sweep clean. But let us believe that the new brooms will also assist us to sweep clean. Just one little correction for the sake of the press. One ministry, that is the ministry which is normally called Home Affairs and Internal Security. I don't know how we overlooked this for all these years, because internal and home are one and the same thing. So really we're not saying anything. So now the new designation of this ministry for purpose of the press will be Ministry of Internal Affairs and Public Security. That would be the thing, because if you say Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security, internal and home for purpose of this are one and the same. So we're not being very ingenious. So this ministry will now be designated Ministry of Internal Affairs and Public Security. I think there was a misprint by my secretary. So that needs to be corrected. Well, I would like to believe that this is the best team, the management team of the government that was ever assembled in the history of this country. We've had the best combination of both skills and experiences, but also a large variety of backgrounds that we are bringing into the cabinet. And we've tried as much as possible within the size that we wanted to have to balance the appointment. And believe me, it's not easy. It wasn't easy at all. And it's only last night I managed to sleep, but I wasn't sleeping all the time. But let us welcome this team and let us give them support so that we can move forward. And I have definitely no doubt that we are going to move forward and that the next 5 years will be very exciting for Malawi, and we are going to achieve more, much more than we were able to achieve. I'm also pleased to note that we have a majority in the parliament, which means it's going to be a quiet parliament and a decent parliament. And I noticed the clerk of the assembly is here, the honorable clerk of the assembly. I'm sure this time she's going to enjoy herself in the parliament. We'll try to give her all the support we can. The important thing for the new cabinet ministers to note is that there are very, very high expectations out there, both in Malawi as well as international community. There are standards that are set for us, some of which we don't even know, but we are expected to have miracles in this place. Indeed, we already have had a miracle in our development in the last 5 years, and I think we'll rise up to the occasion. Fortunately for us, we also by our own selves have set very high standards, and therefore the challenge will not be something we cannot meet, and I believe we'll be able to meet the standards. Now, with regard to the oath of office and allegiance, I'd like to draw your attention to the seriousness of these two oaths that we have made, both of secrecy as well as allegiance. And I think those who designed these oaths did not design just for the purpose of signing. They had a meaning, and a very solemn meaning. We have to maintain secrecy of this government. That's extremely important. But at the same time also, we have to have allegiance to the government. And this demands a loyalty, patriotism, and dedication. There is no other way you can save this country except to observe those three important ideals. As I have said, it took me a long time to assemble this team together, and therefore I have no doubt that each one of you will not only be loyal, but will also keep the secrecy, and will also have allegiance not only to me as your head of state and your leader, but also to the country to which you are serving. There will be a series of meetings that we'll be holding where we'll be discussing various issues. And I would like to say that the first cabinet meeting will be held on Saturday, this coming Saturday, that is day after tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And each and every cabinet minister and deputy minister is requested to be here because this is a very important first cabinet meeting. So please try to be present, but also try to be punctual so that we can begin to conduct the affairs of this business. Now, for the spouses and other members of the family, I would like to request you to give support to the ministers because they carry heavy responsibility. And if there is peace in the family, there's also peace in the office. Excuse me, in the office, because there cannot be peace in the office when there's no peace at home. I recall watching a movie somewhere when a boss came into the office, and then someone said, "Good morning, sir," and he says, "What's so good about this morning?" Which clearly indicates that something else was boiling somewhere else, but it was brought into the office. And it is very important, even in business, it's important for the members of the family to be there. The family concept is extremely important in the success of everything. So we must support those of our members who are in the cabinet and who are carrying responsibilities of running this country. I put a lot of value into family, concept, and I would like to see cohesion in the family, which also enable you to have cohesion in the government. This go side by side. Finally, I would like to request all cabinet ministers to fully support the Right Honorable Vice President Joyce Banda. This is the first time that a woman has been elevated to this high position. And naturally, there will be a lot of expectations, sometimes unreasonable expectations, but they are expectations nonetheless. And you can make her task easy if you cooperate and support her to succeed. Above all, let us also cooperate and support one another in the cabinet. If you see a colleague sliding down and falling, I think you ought to be able to say, "My friend, I think you are sliding down and you are going to fall. Why don't we do A, B, C, D?" And I hope that when that advice comes, you will not look at it as interference in your affairs, because sometimes there's a tendency to say, who does he think he is, or who does she think she is? She thinks she knows more than I do. No, that's not really a question of knowing more than I do. It's a question of solidarity and moving together, because we are an army. And I've said that we are fighting against poverty and underdevelopment. And each time you are fighting, you are an army. We don't have machine guns and bazookas, but we are an army nonetheless. So when you are moving as a rank, as a column, and one of you drops down, or falls, you don't leave them. You hold them by the hand and you drag them. And I'm saying this so that there is the concept of unity and cohesion is very, very clear right from day one when we are sworn in today, so that we move together. I have no doubt that we are going to make it. So once again, I wish you all, the ministers and your families and your spouses, the best of luck in your undertaking. God bless you all.
That's how it was this morning right here at the new State House in Lilongwe. 20 cabinet ministers have taken their oath of office and allegiance, starting their journey into the corridors of government, starting their journey into the public office. And from me, I am Maeresa, and my colleagues, Rafael Kasawara, my director, Texas Kobwe, cameras, Richard Koviwa, Felix Washon, and Lapkin Chauluka, and also reporter Gladys Ntenda, and my producer, Bernard Ndege, my chief producer, Harry Chuma, and my executive producer, Chimwemwe Banda, and also not forgetting our colleagues in Blantyre, Julius Banda, Edwin Ganya, and
Right
Engineer
Honourable
Cornelius
Vice President,
Tusani, and
Honourable
also
Ministers,
my producer,
ladies and gentlemen.
Mhlabase Mwowo. I say goodbye. We leave you for now, but you please join us again in the afternoon when we come back again with another phase of the swearing ceremony of the deputy ministers that have been selected to be members of this cabinet.
Warrant Officer +1 is Bingu, Treasurer General. Major W.A. Fletcher, retired, the Honorary Secretary General of SEMA. Lieutenant Gertrude Mwata, nurse, Malawi Defense.
Thank you, sir.
And with me here, Mr. Patrick Kachimera, Secretary for National